Hi, this is Lauren Martinez with the GAC News here to interview Jay Barrera with the Austin County EMS. So how are you today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Okay.
The first one is, how would you describe your role as a public information officer?
Well, that's a great question because there's a lot that goes into that role. One of the primary things I would say that we do is we work with the media to ensure that there's accurate information given in the scenes that we respond to and the things that we do on a daily basis that the public's just not aware of. One of the other things that we do is to really protect the agency and the employees of our agency so that they can feel like they can do their jobs without being put under the microscope or put that pressure on them while they're doing their jobs that they're assigned. And then ultimately we just act as a buffer between the media and the community and the EMS agency itself.
Very interesting. Next question.
Okay.
Why is the public information officer role helpful for an emergency medical service agency?
Well, I think what we do is we balance the demands for information with the agency's interest. That way we can ensure that the most accurate information is getting out there. Because a lot of people will just drive by or stop and see, and they'll see a glimpse of what they're doing, and they will develop their own story, and yet there's a whole lot more to it. And so it's important for someone to be the spokesperson for that agency to make sure that again, going back to accurate information is given, and that way we can also protect the privacy of our patients. And just make sure that the public can become familiar with who we are and what we're doing as it occurs. Because too many times people see an ambulance drive by and they have no idea what's going on, or they'll show up on a scene and they'll think something needs to be done, and not realizing that our EMTs and paramedics are trained with the best education that they can get. So.
Okay. How would you describe your policy for handling media requests?
Well, first off, we want to work with every media outlet that's out there. I think that any request that's given to us, whether it's a recognized media agency like the news, like yourself, or anyone with a camera this day can be considered news, and we don't have any way to really know that. And so we want to make sure that we're developing the best relationships with them. But it's always easier to have a single point of contact to obtain whatever information that you need. That way, you're not trying to go to 5 different people, depending on the size of your agency. You have one spot, and that person can basically do all the legwork within the agency. And then, of course, any media request that comes in, we're going to give that the highest priority, respond as quickly as we can, so that they can. We know they're on a deadline. We want to help them get the most accurate information in the most rapid way we can.
Okay. What types of information and details can you share with the community?
Well, with the community, there's a vast majority of what we do we can share with the community. We can give out, to be specific, we can give out on-scene information that we're dispatched to, such as addresses. We can give, casualty information, not personal information, but casualty information, and other types of injuries. If someone was, fell off their bicycle and had a major injury, we can talk about the actual injury. And so, by doing that, we can talk about those things. We can also talk about all the procedures of how we operate, things we track, things like response times, nature of calls, things like that. General information that the public would want to know. That's what we're allowed to give out at any time, and we don't have any problem doing that.
Okay. What types of information are considered confidential and cannot be shared, and why?
So, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996 was passed to protect private information of patients. If you've got a patient who is struggling with a medical issue, if they want to share that information, that's their prerogative, but we are not allowed to give that type of information out. That's a national law that we have. The other thing is that we really try to make sure is that we want to, in protecting that information, we want to ensure their privacy. So while you may see an ambulance in front of a house, I can't tell you which person we're treating in that house. I cannot give you that personal information. Now, there are some things that some people can come to conclusions about. I have no control over that. But as far as information that I absolutely will never be allowed to give out would be things that are covered under HIPAA, which was what I said. Other things that we can't do are ongoing investigations, any kind of litigation, personal issues, medical or mental health issues, anything of that nature we're not allowed to give out as well. And again, those are for legal reasons. So.
Okay, final question.
Okay.
What recommendations do you have for journalists working with public information officers?
Well, like any kind of relationship, we want to be as courteous as we can with one another. I know that they have their job to do. I have my job to do. Our job is to meet in the middle and not try to be discourteous to one another, to be rude, anything like that. I mean, we have to work together and work in partnership. When I get a request, I still need time to gather the request. I'm one facet of the department. I don't know every single issue of what's going on, every single call that occurs. Unless it's newsworthy or something big, typically I'm not going to know the day-to-day things that happen, so I just have to make sure that I get time to get that information if there's something specific that's requested. They also have to realize the nature of an EMS agency. There is a lot of protected information I have to give, and we go on all types of calls, and so there's just a lot of, for lack of a better word, busy work that takes place that has to occur. And so because of that, we need time. I need time. And then realize also I'm not an expert in all the things that are out there. I mean, we've got paramedics that have specialties in tactical response. We have paramedics that have specialties in different types of medical response, strokes, heart attacks, things like that. We have wilderness medics. We have swiftwater rescue medics. So there's all kinds of specialty topics that are out there. And because of that, there's going to be things that I'm going to have to ask about because I'm not that expert. So if a media place just is not, it gives me a request, if we can just work together and get all that information together, I'm willing to work with everybody. So just kind of take those things into consideration, and we'll do just fine.
All right, Dre, it was a very good interview with you today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Yes.